The winter winds roared through the empty plains, carrying with them the echo of a storm long gone. The land stretched endlessly, gold dust and the faint scent of smoke. Thomas Kane, a weathered rancher who had seen both the cruelty and kindness of the frontier, was mending a broken fence when he first saw her. At first he thought it was a ghost, small, barefoot, wrapped in torn buckskin, her long dark hair tangled with frost. But as she stumbled forward, he saw the fear in her eyes. She was real. An Apache girl, no older than 20, half-starved and trembling. He reached for his rifle out of habit, but froze when she raised both hands. Her voice cracked in the wind, soft but clear. "Please! I can't live without a man. Don't send me away." The words stunned him. The rancher had lived alone for years. After losing his wife to fever and his trust to the lawless borderlands, he didn't need company, and he sure didn't want any trouble. "You picked the wrong ranch, girl," he muttered. "No man here worth living for." But when she fell to her knees in the snow, he saw something fierce beneath her fear, a spark of will that refused to die. He carried her inside, gave her a blanket, some stew, and a place near the fire. For hours she said nothing, only watched the flames as if they could erase her past. When she finally spoke, her voice was fragile, yet her words burned with truth. Her tribe had been attacked by outlaws masquerading as soldiers. Her people scattered, her family gone. She ran for days through cold and hunger until her legs gave out near his ranch. "You don't owe me," she whispered. "I just don't want to die alone." Thomas said nothing, but something in him shifted. He saw in her eyes the same loneliness that haunted him since the war. Two souls abandoned by fate. Over the next few days, the girl, whose name was Ayanna, helped around the ranch. She fixed fences, fed horses, and moved with quiet strength. She never complained, even when her hands bled. The townsfolk noticed her, too. Whispers began, "Kane's keeping an Apache girl." Some called her a thief, others a curse. The sheriff came by, asking questions that felt like warnings. "You can't trust her kind," he said. But Thomas didn't care. The more he saw Ayanna's courage, the more he felt life returning to his silent home. One night, a thunderstorm rolled in. The rancher found Ayanna outside, standing in the rain, her face lifted to the sky. "Why are you out here?" he asked. She turned, tears mixed with raindrops. "Because I finally feel alive again," she said. "When I'm alone, I remember the screams. But when I work here, when I see you, I remember hope." That night, something changed between them. Not love, not yet, but trust. Fragile and rare as spring rain in the desert. Thomas began to teach her how to shoot, how to ride, how to survive. She laughed for the first time in months, her voice cutting through the silence like sunlight through clouds. But peace in the West never lasted long. Trouble was brewing beyond the hills. Bandits, who once raided her tribe, had returned, and they wanted what the rancher owned. When their tracks appeared near the creek, Thomas knew what it meant. "We'll fight," Ayanna said, her eyes steady. "You saved me. Now I'll save this place." As thunder echoed across the plains, two lonely hearts stood ready against a storm greater than any before. The next morning came heavy with tension. Dust hung in the air like the breath before a scream. Thomas checked his rifle, his old war instincts returning. Ayanna stood beside him, her braids tied back, her father's knife strapped to her waist. She looked stronger now, not the broken girl who had once begged for life, but a woman molded by fire. As the sun climbed higher, they heard the sound. Hooves. A dozen riders crested the ridge, bandanas hiding their faces, guns glinting. They were the same raiders who had destroyed Ayanna's village. The leader, a scar-faced man named Rourke, grinned when he saw her. "Didn't think I'd find you hiding with a rancher," he shouted. "Hand her over, Kane. She's Apache. Ain't worth dying for." Thomas's jaw tightened. "She's worth more than you'll ever be," he said. And with that, the first shot rang out. Bullets tore through the dust. Horses screamed. The battle was fierce, a blur of smoke, sweat, and fury. Ayanna fought beside Thomas, firing with deadly precision. She moved like wind through fire, her spirit unbroken. When Rourke tried to flank them, she charged, her knife flashing, her voice fierce with rage. The fight ended as quickly as it began. The raiders fell or fled, leaving behind silence and the smell of gunpowder. Thomas slumped against the fence, wounded but alive. Ayanna knelt beside him, pressing her hand to his bleeding arm. "You fool," she whispered, tears falling. "Why would you risk your life for me?" He smiled weakly. "Because you reminded me what life feels like." She laughed through her tears, her hands trembling. "Then you're stuck with me," she said. "Because I still can't live without a man. But not just any man. You." In the days that followed, word spread through the valley of the Apache. Girl who fought like lightning and the rancher who stood by her. The same townsfolk who once whispered now spoke her name with respect. Thomas rebuilt what was lost, and Ayanna planted new roots on the land that had saved her. Together they watched the sun set over the plains, a world reborn from ashes. And though they spoke little, their hearts told a story louder than words, that sometimes the West's wildest battles aren't fought with bullets, but with courage and compassion. As the narrator's voice fades, the wind hums across the fields, carrying the last echo of Ayanna's promise. The land takes, but it also gives. It gave me him,